welcome to MC Thursday Night Live. We've pivoted more and more in the conversation. Yes, we're in search of awesome, but awesome to the 10th power is in search of those that are on track to becoming behind the chair millionaires. Best practices of those stylists that are, quietly, discreetly making their way very rapidly to not just six-figure incomes, but seven-figure net worth. And tonight is no different. We're going to be engaging, and I think it was Deb McMahon that blew in my ear. Taylor Grubbs from Alicia Salon and Day Spa, Chesterfield, Virginia. Manager, full-time stylist, hair Jedi, soon-to-be millionaire Jedi. And look at her. Just when you really look at what she's doing in income, what she's doing in saving and investing, some of what she's making, what she's doing to pay down or pay off her debt. And as you know, that is that's how we get to the land of milk and honey, right? So 2016, 72,000 goes to 73 in 2017, 76 in 2018, 2019 at 70. Big year in 2020, $100,000. And as she's going up, she's debt-free and she continues to save money every year. And now it's snowballing. And so she is trending this year to do 130,000 in a W-2. So she's blew that up by another 30%. And it's month after month, it's the best yet. She was telling me before the interview that April of this year was her biggest month at 22,000, and March, again, it just continues to go. So if she stays on the trajectory that she's on, she is going to be probably hanging out at 130. So I would say that's making big boom boom to the 10. Level 4A, only 25 years old. You guys, come on, will ya? Average service ticket is $225 because when you can see she does very high-end color as well as hair extensions. I think those two today is the fuel to get us to six-figure income. In the month of March, 18 grand. In the month of April, what did I say? 22,000. So it just keeps going up. Haircut price is just under 60. She's the salon's referral rainmaker. Rebooks at 85%. RTS is continues to blow it up. And so if you she's going to be telling you her story, so I don't want to take anything away from her timeline, but graduates in high school in 2014. Looks like she went through high school at the same time, did some hair school, graduated from hair school same year, becomes an associate at Alicia Salon and Day Spa, level 4A, and like I said, the rest is history. If you are not following her on Instagram, her handle is the Devoted DB Blonde. It's the Devoted Blonde on Instagram, and I was just on there before the show. And if you look at her grids, she has branded herself as being like a Bali Lama on steroids. Those are $200, $250, $300 tickets, and like I said, extensions are a part of her ride. So she's in my room now. I'm going to go and get her. We're going to bring her out, get her chatting about her story, share some of her secret sauce with her. So we're going to give it up for Miss Taylor Grubbs, guys. Make her feel welcome, would you please? Hi, Taylor.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you for coming, giving us a few minutes of your evening tonight. Did you work today?
I did. I worked 12 to 6:30 today.
Oh, wow. So, after slamming it all day, you came to give us a few minutes to share your secret sauce with us. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Now I want the community, hey, my friends, Taylor and I are working at a little bit of a disadvantage. You can see me, you can see her, you can see us, but Taylor can hear everything, but she can't see me. So she's a little bit. You're gonna help me be her guardian angel. I think we're just gonna be fine. So, you've really come to a number of conversations on people that I've interviewed, Taylor, and so you know that we always like to get started with the story because the story gives us all an appreciation of who you are as an individual and where what your life was like before it began to become this type of life. So get us started. Who are you and what inspires you to get into the business to get you to the point that you are now?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2014. I went through like a hair school throughout school through like a technical program, and just literally that was kind of, I've grown up in the hair industry. My mom's a salon owner. She's been a salon owner for about 20 years this year, actually. So I've kind of lived and breathed the whole industry all my life. And it was just kind of in my lap. And it was, at first I was like, do I want to do hair? And so I just went ahead and went for it. And I absolutely love it. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I hated school. I hated doing schoolwork. So this was definitely for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think is so interesting is that you must have enrolled in beauty school while you were going through high school.
So I was a junior in high school. And then I did the technical program my junior and senior year. So it was like an odd and even day. I replaced my credits. And then by the time I graduated high school, I literally had took my test a month before I graduated. So I was already licensed a month before I graduated high school.
Wow. And your mother has been in the business for 20 plus. And so you kind of grew up in the business. You're kind of cut from the same cloth, huh?
Yeah, definitely seen her go through hills and all that stuff. But it's been a ride. I've definitely learned a lot on the business side of it. So I think it's hard as a stylist because sometimes stylists, you can work for somebody, but you only understand your side of it. So I've definitely learned both sides of the industry, which is kind of nice.
And the person that really kind of made me mindful of you was Deb McMahon. Like out of the blue one day, I got a text from her and says, hey, I got somebody you need to meet and talk to her that she's blowing it up. So as a result of Deb kind of blowing in my ear about you, we got together and the rest is history.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's the best coach.
Yeah. Now, Taylor, I would not have invited you here tonight had you're into some real extraordinary places, both in your income and building your net worth. That's why you're here, right? But I've known from the interviews that I've done that there's something, we have these definable moments, these big aha moments or OMGs that kind of, they're like nitroglycerin on the bonfire. They pivot us and they sharpen our trajectory. And I know you've had some of them. What's one of them that kind of like blew the sides off of your brain box and helped you to see how much potential there was in deciding to be a hairdresser?
I think honestly, like when I first started doing hair, we didn't have Summit as a business structure in our salon. So when I first started out as like an associate, Summit wasn't a thing in our salon yet. So I definitely was hand in hand with a lot of the older girls and always learning and helping and all that kind of stuff and being a hand. But I could say honestly, when Summit came into our salon, and put us all on a scale and really gave us vision, that really just helped me so much, just kind of just see where I could go. And I feel like that was my pivot point in a way.
Yeah.
When it comes long term, I think this year, definitely COVID was a pivot point in my career when it kind of making that turn of hitting that 100K, but I think long term, I think Summit definitely has done a huge thing on my business.
Yeah.
Really following along with everything they've given us.
By the way,
that.
your father's on tonight, and his name is Brandon.
Yeah.
And he said, that's my Tay-Tay. I'm a proud dad of the moment. So, you got the whole fam dam with you tonight.
Yeah.
How long were you working in was the salon, Alicia's, did you come like right out of beauty school and go to Alicia's, your mother's salon, or was there any salons in between?
No, so I've always been with my mom.
So from day one, you've been on-ramped, and it sounds like you're one of the fast trackers in the salon brand.
Yeah.
So you've come far. I mean, wherever you were a couple of years ago, it's like you're 10 years ahead of that. You kind of like blew things up. What's it like? How has this changed your life compared to 2, 3, 4 years ago? How has it changed you? And how has it changed your life? Because there's a lot of people, frankly, that will spend an entire career as a hairdresser and not be at the place that you're at 25. So the speed of your journey has been like Mach 5.
Yeah. I just think I literally my first like 5 years were like my grind years. When it came to just like, I was so like just very active on social media. I still am today, but I can honestly say like I was posting every day. I should be posting every day, but like those 5 years, like I was so committed to like always putting myself on social media, just getting myself out there with referrals. When I was out in the public, I was always, hey, come get your hair done kind of thing. I was always making a name for myself. But yeah.
Yeah, I hear that a lot where, when you that first few years, we all have almost like obsessive compulsive social media disorder. We're just anything and everything that we can create energy. And then you kind of build this momentum, this rhythm. You get to 6 figures, and it's not like you gave up on social. You're still on it, but the rhythm changes because what you have now that you didn't have before is momentum, and people don't get that. Yeah,
and then like about a year and a half ago, I took on a business coach, like personally, for our industry. She actually, Hey Elizabeth Faye on Instagram. I think she works for Redken actually too. But I took on a business coach as well, just personally, just to help me. And that really helped too, because I felt like I needed something personally on myself to kind of push me. I was feeling a little stagnant about a year and a half ago, post-COVID, and that really kind of pushed me out too. Plus having Summit on my back as well.
Oh, I love it. And so, like, what's next for you? Where do you go? What do you see yourself doing for the rest of 2021 and beyond? Like, what's the next dream in your dream machine?
I think it's me taking over the salon.
Okay, so that's really the trajectory that you're on, is that sooner or later you will be the owner of the brand, the leader of the team, and so that's a great fit. How's your mother feeling about that? She's got to be proud as a peach of you.
Yes, she actually she runs a nonprofit on her own now that she started about 5 years ago, called Runway to Life, and it helps with like mental health and all that kind of stuff. So it really does tie in being behind the chair and helping our clients go through those things too. But that is her passion, and really she's thriving on that right now. She loves being in the salon, but I'm kind of stepping up and being a leader and taking over and just kind of taking reign, and kind of filling that role for these next few years until it's my time to kind of figure out what's ahead for Alicia Salon kind of thing. So We're really excited.
And you're only 25, so a lot of people begin the quest to getting where you're at well into their 30s. So you really have. You're probably 5 to 10 years ahead of your time. And I know what that's going to make a big difference as life unfolds for you. So you've got some great momentum. I want to pivot our conversation a little bit because in interviewing you for, blowing it up behind the chair, we discovered that in addition to that, you're also on a path where as you're building your income, you and your husband are building, we'll call it your personal financial life. I just call it, you're on a trajectory of becoming a 7-figure net worth, a millionaire. And I think I showed you this when, we did the calculations, and you're 17 years away based on what you're saving to cross over the $1 million Rubicon. What inspired that? How long have you been on that track?
So I had a employee that worked for us that really encouraged me about 4.5, 5 years ago to start like a separate, like an IRA account, obviously, because we don't have 401k in our salon. And so I went to my own financial advisor. I definitely encourage anybody that's watching this too. It's so worth it. Now looking back 5 years from now, and I've got 45 sitting in there, and that I didn't even have to put in a certain amount every year. And I haven't changed it ever since. I haven't been able to. I'm glad I didn't need to, because I can go in and shrink it down if I need to, if I don't have to put in that much. But the way I've been going, I didn't have to do that.
You're doing all of, I call it, the 3 or 4 gems that collectively, if they become a rhythm, the rest is history. And one of them is saving. And it sounds like a few years ago, somebody that was part of the Salon kind of blew in your ear about this. You talked to a financial planner, and all of a sudden you begin to contribute to a long-term savings and investment. It's at $45,000 now. But the key is you're feeding that thing. You're putting in a couple of $1,000s a month.
Yeah.
And when you do the math on that, we said, geez, that based on that rhythm, you're 25 now, you will be on the back end of 30-something, no later than the front end of 40-something, and you'll be there. And I think I even texted you that graph that I showed you. I'm curious because I don't know you and we didn't know each other well. When I sent that to you, first of all, was that front page news to you? And what was your initial aha when you saw that?
Yeah, it's crazy when you see that long term, you don't think about it, because you're just doing what you've been told just to put it in, and it's crazy how much money can add up after.
Oh, yeah, you're the 14th person that I've interviewed so far, and you're the typical hairdresser, 20-something that's been doing this, and you're well on your way. And I hear this all the time when I show them the graph. They'll either say it's crazy, that's crazy, or that's insane, right? So, but it really is something profound. I'm curious because I've been a saver most of my life. You started saving. It sounds like it's 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And you kind of put a little bit in. You go, okay, that's great, and you kind of you keep an eye on it. But at some point, you take a look at it, and it's like way bigger than the last time you looked at it. You go like, well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. And then all of a sudden you get a sense, oh my God, a lot of the money that I'm seeing is not, yes, it's my money, but it's not money I put in. It's money that's growing on the money. Did you have that experience? If you remember, when did you have it? And what did that feel like and look like to you?
Yeah, I think I had gone a couple months without looking at it one time, and I logged in like maybe just a couple months ago, and it was during COVID, and I was like, what the heck? Like that's insane. I didn't realize it's crazy how the market, it's literally from my IRA, it has done nothing but go up. It really hasn't gone down at all, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, and it's being invested if you're with a financial planner in something long term where you have a much higher annual, whatever you want to call it, interest, yield, growth. And now with COVID on the back end, all of a sudden it started firing things back up again. And I just heard tonight that if we're, vaccinated complete, all of a sudden we're starting to take off our masks now. And now I got a feeling it's really going to explode. So you've got a great head start on that.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about it is you will, in your late 30s, early 40s, have options open to you that many hairdressers don't have in their 60s or 70s. So like if you decide, I think I want to take my foot off the gas pedal a little bit and maybe live on some of what I've saved, but I don't want to compromise my standard of living, you'll have that option where a lot of people don't.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I'm so glad. I'm so thankful for that person that spoke into me, that's why it's so important for us to put our, what we know and what we've learned into other people, because it's definitely helped me and kind of give me a new perspective on just money and saving and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And we keep it to ourselves because it's not like it's secret, but it's private. But and you've been, you're in the game now. You're in life. You've been in the salon biz for, a number of years. Yeah, both of us know that the path you're on is not the typical path.
No, yeah.
Once upon a time, we might have been on that path. We're not currently, but some of our friends are. Some of our friends haven't pivoted to that yet. But we never talk about it. Have you had that experience where all of a sudden, whether it's your peers or whatever, they're noticing that while you're doing everything that they're doing, there's also some things that you're doing that they're not, and you're building momentum, and they're becoming aware of it. Have you had that experience yet?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of girls that don't that work for me, but also that don't work with me, and just giving them advice too. But I'm telling you, extensions definitely have made my sales go skyrocket. It's definitely the end thing. So you can definitely charge a lot more for it. And it's just the end, so it's definitely helped my income a lot.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm looking at you've got some videos on IG TV where you're playing not only with high-end color, but you're also playing with hair extensions, and that's what gets us to a six-figure income, more, better, faster than anything. So if you're there and you're saving, you're probably saving 20-25% of your income. It's like we get to being millionaires in 1/5 or 1/3 of the time it would take if we were just at 50,000 or 60,000 a year in income and putting 4,000 or 5,000 away. So you're saying balayages, high-end color, and hair extensions got you into six-figure territory.
Yeah, no, I totally, I think because I wasn't doing extensions for the last couple of years, and I really have, in the last 2.5, 3 years, that's really been my building phase for my extension clientele. And going into 2020 was it just went up.
Right. Well, you're in addition to being full-time stylist, you're really the leader, the manager in the salon. Are you part of the monthly PDMs and coaching sessions with your people?
Yeah, so we do monthly or quarterly meetings with Deb. But I have another master stylist that's a great leader with me, and she helps alongside with me with all of our one-on-ones. So we have taken the lead for all of the one-on-ones, the inventory orders, everything.
Yeah, and you were telling me about her. You two are the two leads that create a vision and momentum. So I'm curious, when you and this person's name is
Heather,
and you got to blow in Heather's ear and tell her I want to interview her. Is she on the same track that you're on?
She's close. She's definitely right there. She's right underneath me.
Yeah, so she's going to be next. Tell her you've got my text now, and either DM me or text me. But I want to get her talking too, because here's the question I wanted to ask you and Heather. Have you found that your coaching, as you're evolving as a hairdresser and as somebody that's seeking to be a millionaire, are you bringing those experiences in your coaching? Once upon a time, in the good old days, a year or 2 years ago, we wouldn't talk about how are your referrals, how are your retail, how's your average ticket, how close you're getting to jumping. But now, all of a sudden, the conversation is evolving to, how close to six figures are you? Are you saving? How much are you saving? Have you found that those conversations are different now than they were a couple of years ago?
Yeah. You're talking about like having conversations with the girls on their own?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think too, they see I'm very open with everything that I make at the salon, and everything that our numbers are out there for all of us, all of our staff to see. So definitely the girls are always intrigued and kind of just, they see hope, and I think that's the biggest thing, is giving them hope of like, you can do this, and giving them vision of different ways they can achieve that.
Yeah. I think, Taylor, this is the newest, latest, greatest employee benefit. I talk about it as a benefit that when you, first of all, that you get a monthly PDM or a quarterly PDM, which is kind of unique in itself, but the PDM has changed. That we're way more interested. Our interest in our people goes beyond helping them to grow a great income. Now we want to help them to grow a great net worth. I remember when Summit started, one of the slogans that we said growing people for a living. And that was kind of behind the PD. And now it's, yes, we're doing that, but it's growing millionaires for life, right? And people in their 20s, we start coaching them so that in their 30s and 40s, they're going to have a life that they never dreamed possible. That's got to be to me, that would make coaching people much, much more meaningful.
Oh, yeah. You have a lot of these young girls that are, that want to buy their first house or buy their first car and stuff like that. And I kind of went through all those phases being under Summit along the way, which is kind of cool, of my trend of what I was making and the achievements that I was able to make throughout the process, which is cool.
I love it. So you actually show them your here's my path, because you're on the same path that I'm on. It's just I've got a few more years down the road than you do, but it helps your people to see what's possible.
Yeah.
Well, I got one other question I want to ask you, then I'm going to ask you for a favor too. But the question is, there's a lot of people watching tonight, and there's going to be a whole lot more people watching this as we edit it and put it on YouTube and Instagram, etc. They're looking at you, they're identifying with you, they can relate to you, except you're in a place that they're not. And they're in a place that you used to be. Many times when they watch these kinds of conversations, it kind of puts them at what I call the holy jumping off place.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to pivot and really go for this versus kind of stay on the place that I'm at? But they're asking themselves the question, if I do what Taylor did, is it possible that what happened to her could happen for me? You're in a place they're not. What would you say to them that might encourage them or raise the odds that they'll take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, I think just continue just to always move forward. Life will definitely throw you curveballs, and you'll have your ups and your downs as you go through it. But I think for me, it's just I've just kept my head focused, and just keeping a straight focus of just what I wanted to achieve, and just I'm a firm believer of the Lord, and I just continue just to it's only God.
Oh no, that's only God. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
literally.
I'm running way over, and I never run over, but this has been such an interesting conversation. I really wanted to make sure that we could take advantage of all of it. Promise me two things: that you'll get Heather to come for an interview.
It might be a challenge, but I'll try.
All right. Well, and if you need me to have Sig Deb on her, Deb will
I'll get her. I'll get her to get her.
That's great. And because Deb will do me that favor, because she asked me to chat with you, and of course I love Deb. She's the best of the best. But also promise me that you'll come back.
Yes.
For we call them encores, so that we can kind of keep up with how your life is going to continue to evolve. Yeah. And I'm now doing a lot of the 3-4 hour best practices on becoming a behind the chair millionaire. And every time I do them, I like to bring a surprise guest with me that's already there, so that people really see I'm not lying to them. That this is something that is being done, and it's very doable. But there's something like when people like you show up with me, it's like, all right, she's one of me. Or I'm 5-10 years older than she is, and she's doing so would you promise that you would consider doing that with me?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. And it worked, even though the Wi-Fi gods it worked really well. This is probably one of the best interviews I've done in a long, long time. So thanks for coming on. I'm going to end the meeting with you, and then I'm going to talk to my community for a couple of minutes. You're certainly welcome to hang out on Facebook Live as well. So thank you, my friend, and have a great evening.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
We're going to give it up for you one more time. Stay with Rob. All right. Stay well. Wow, you guys, that was a big deal. That was a very big deal. Give it up for her one more time. I want to really underscore something that she talked about. She has got what I would call the millionaire mindset. And we usually, people that have that mindset, they keep it to themselves. It's not like it's a secret, but it's private, and it can creep other people out that aren't part of the, part of the conversation. But it's predicated on we call it the 4 rules or the 4 gems of the millionaire mindset, that give yourself a raise. And she talked about that in her conversation. She's going to do $130,000 this year in her W-2. Last year it was $100,000, and she even said, "I got there through high-end color, hair extensions. So there's new ways of getting there, more, better, faster." She really spent an enormous amount of time branding herself on Instagram, and now that she's got a momentum, she doesn't need to do it to the degree that she's doing it. It's almost like she just keeps, it's almost like when you're priming a pump, you go like crazy. But once the water starts coming out, it's just a slow. So she's just able to do that, and she's there. But she's also paying herself first. So she pays herself $2,000 a month. And she pays herself. And where that money, that's a savings payment. So that's right up there with, you got a car payment, we got a house payment, we got, we have other expenses We have other loans that we're paying off, but the savings and investment, that's a payment. And that's one of the most important payments in somebody's life that's about the millionaire mindset. We call it pay yourself first. She's putting away while she's earning $130,000 a year. She's taking $2,000 a month, or you could say $24,000 a year, and she's putting it into a long-term savings and investment account. That's what I want you to get. I mean, you do the math on that. She does 130,000 and she's saving 24 of it. That sounds like it's about 15-20% of what she earns. She's putting in a long-term savings account so that she can be a millionaire by the time she's in late 30-something, early 40-something. She's 25 now. So you want to get there inside of 2 decades. And if you talk to anybody that's been in the business for a while, they'll say the first decade, it's different than the second decade because it starts working behind the chair, starts taking a toll on our body, our hands, our back, our feet. Talk to anybody, they'll tell you. It starts taking a toll on our mind because we're serving people every day. That can be intense. We go home at the end of the day. Now psychology is calling it with contact overload. I used to call it, multiple personality syndrome, and now they call it, contact overload. So you want to get there inside of 2 decades so that once you get to the back end of 2 decades, you can say, okay, I have some options. I think I'll keep doing this, but I want to do it part-time or a couple of days a week, but I don't want to compromise on my standard of living, my quality of life. I can begin to take some of the interest out that's growing on my $1 million goose, add that starts supplementing my income. So any money that I give up, I get, like Randy Kunkel, we call it new money. So that's an option that you have in your 30s and 40s that many hairdressers don't have in their 60s. They work because they kind of have to work. They didn't do this. The common track they were on was, I work for a living. I kind of spend what I make, and it's not good, it's not bad, but it's not going to get you to be a millionaire. And then you continue to pay down your debt. She's debt-free. She's paid off all of her debt. She says, any credit card debt I have, I pay off at the end of the month. So I'm always running at zero balance on my credit cards. And to do all this, of course, you need to spend less than you make. I need to spend less than I make so that I have enough that I can pay myself first and manage my debt. She's on that. We now call it the 4-Gem Millionaire Mindset. And it really, that is her secret sauce, you guys. Big, big, big time secret sauce. So thanks again to Taylor. The conversation is powered by L'Oreal Salon Emotion. So L'Oreal and all of her products lines sponsor this conversation so that we can continue to bring this kind of education to you, compliments of them. So if this changes your life, of course, you're welcome, and I'm really glad it worked for you. But please support L'Oreal's brands. And they're wonderful brands. We got Pulp, Riot, Biolage, Kerastase, Purology, L'Oreal Professional, Redken, Shoe, Mazzani. And then, of course, Salon Emotion now is part of their business brand as well. So thank you to them, and thank you as well. So it's been a great evening tonight. I'm going to let you get back to the evening if you like it. We continue to do this a couple of conversations a week, and we'll keep it going for you. So you have a great evening. And it's interesting. Dana says, I love my L'Oreal level points. Exactly. That level points now have become the new Bitcoin of people that are in this L'Oreal Salon community. You can buy a lot of coaching services and educational programs that we offer with level points. So it's one more very big reason of being a part of this. So at any rate, you guys have a good evening, and we'll see you next.